for us, it's our last game, so there's, you might as well empty the tank, so to speak, and try to have our best week all season of preparation and focus and go up there. There's a lot on the line conference-wise. I'm not sure exactly what the ASUN's thoughts are, but our thoughts are we can, win the conference outright and finish undefeated in the league, and that's a big deal. And for our seniors, it's their last home game as a college player, and for all of our guys, it's going to be a long time until we play another game. So it's obviously very important.
What would a conference championship mean just for this first year?
Yeah, I think it's kind of just being 1 year in it and transitioning. We're fortunate to be in the league, and for our guys, that was part of the importance of last week's games, that we knew if we won, they had at least a share of it. And you could ask the players how much motivation was. I think they were going to be motivated no matter what. But your goal every year, I think, if you're in a league, your first goal team-wise is to win the league championship. I've always had that approach everywhere I've been, is that our goal. We don't talk a lot about team goals, and we talk about a little bit in preseason and during the season a little bit, but I think if you're going to be in the league, your first goal is always to win the league championship and then go from there. And so that's been part of something we've talked about way back in the spring.
Any thoughts yet about how you would celebrate if that does happen?
Yeah, I think it's for us. I mean, we're going to proclaim championship and probably get rings and T-shirts and all the other stuff that come with all the goodies that come with it.
What were your thoughts at the beginning of the season when you saw the coaches that picked you guys fourth in the preseason poll?
Yeah, I was. I don't want to say I was surprised. I mean, you had lost some good players and a whole new staff, and the other teams had a lot of guys coming back, and so you're kind of, I thought maybe, just the tradition of school, I thought we'd at least be picked in the top half. We wasn't even in the top half. We made the top half possible. So that was a little bit surprising. How much motivation? No matter where you pick it, you're going to have. I think if you're a competitor, you want to win them all. But I wasn't totally shocked. But I think it just, geez, I think I mentioned that. You'd have to ask the guys. I think we did mention in camp. Didn't make a big deal. I would say, there's 6 teams and we were picked in the bottom part of it, like number 4. So let's try to prove we're better than that.
In turn, you had no offensive players picked in the preseason poll as well.
Oh, is that right? Well,
team. In Atlanta, you kind of said, we'll show them almost.
I didn't know that. I think I did mention that there were some guys that's on that list that I know I mentioned that. Now that you mentioned that, I know I brought that up, that, hey, there's this guy from this team, this guy from this team, and where's our guys at? So I think we'll have more on them now. I think we'll be pretty well represented on that. And I would hope our guys, I mean, to me, as a head coach, you want your guys to get some notoriety and attention. That's good. But I don't think that's our focus as far as our players. They want to play. I think everybody wants to play to prove that they're good players. And if they do that, they should get some mention afterwards. And I'll be the first one to champion in that regard.
Anwar and Markel this week.
Yeah, Markel's out. He had corrective surgery, and he'll start rehabbing that and hopefully get his opportunity to play professionally, because I think he should get a chance to continue playing. And then Anwar, we're hoping he'll be able to do some stuff today. We'll see. He'll probably be a day or two decision whether he can go or not, but we're hopeful that he can do some stuff today. Yeah, they're very offensively very explosive. They put a lot of points on people. Played probably their best game of the year last weekend. Beat a pretty good Stephen F. Austin team, I think 34-7. I know they've got some motivation too, because they still got a chance to tie for the league championship, and I think maybe a possible playoff game. and they're very well coached, very well disciplined. They play really hard, and they got good players. And I think most, I don't know if anybody, none of our coaches have been there. I don't know if any of our players have been up there. So it's a long trip, but we're going to leave Thursday night, get a little head start on getting up there, and I think our guys are, they know what's at stake, and I think also that they know it's a very good football team, that we're going to get their best shot. So we got to be ready to go.
How tough do you think it is for players today to find motivation in a year when y'all aren't able to compete in the postseason? That seems to be a goal that a lot of teams set, especially today. And how proud are you that the players were able to accomplish what they've done so far?
Yeah, I think that is. I mean, I thought about it earlier. Said, what is their motivation? But if you're a competitor and they're keeping score, I think the motivation is going to be there. It's guys want to play, players want to play, and competitors want to compete, and they're going to keep score. And at the end of the game, there's a winner and a loser. And I think we talked about it a whole bunch. I mean, I probably talked about that 100 times about being that type of competitor, because I want, whether we're going for a bowl game or playoff or conference championship or whatever it is. I mean, if they're keeping score, we're going to compete. That's the kind of culture or program I want, and it's the same way in practice. In practice, how do you motivate your guys in practice? Well, sometimes we keep score in practice, but it's us against each other. The games, they're keeping score. So I think our guys have done a really good job of that this year, and I think that'll continue to grow. The seniors helped set us a good tone with that, because those are the ones that are the toughest, right? The seniors, they're not going to have an opportunity to transition to Division I-A and compete for a Conference USA championship or for a bowl game. And so what was their motivation? I think the first one hopefully was to be as good a team as they could, be as good a player as they could, and to win the ASUN. And that's kind of our approach.
When I checked Saturday, I think you were 6th in the country in rushing. Coming into this year, did you anticipate being this good at running the ball?
Well, we thought, that's probably part of our offensive philosophies. We want to be able to be good at everything, but, it all starts with running the football. What we didn't know is obviously some of the question marks up front. We lost some starters. We had 3 or 4 new starters playing up front. The quarterback had played some, but none of these guys had played in this system. But we got good play up front. We got tight ends that'll block, as well as anybody in the country. And running backs ran hard, and our perimeter guys blocked. Our receivers took a lot of pride in it. So, but that I didn't know. I don't even look at the stats. I don't know where we are. But when we've played well offensively, it's because we started off running the football well and controlled the game, not only from an offensive standpoint, but you control the whole tempo of the game when you can run it. It's like I go back to the last drive in the last game. We got a big lead, but it took whatever it was, 7 or 8 minutes off the clock, running it when they knew we were going to run it, and we made no bones about it. We're just going to run it and bleed the clock, and we're still getting first downs. And when you can do that, you're going to win.
Sean Brown's had a lot of explosive plays for y'all this season. Is he a guy that going forward in his career you need to use more, or are some of those explosive plays because...
Did he put you up to that question? Sean is explosive. Now, he actually, we do that GPS thing, and they get 20 miles per hour. I mean, that's fast. And I think Sean was at 20-something. I don't know. He might have clicked the button a little bit extra on that. I don't know if he's that fast, because Ewell running 20. Okay, Ewell. But Sean running 20? Now, come on now. But Sean gets going a little bit, but he's a physical presence when he blocks. I mean, he is different, and I don't know if I even told Sean this. Some guys, when they block, when they're running a route or catching a touchdown, they're running really fast. But when they're blocking, they're not maybe as fast. Sean is fast or faster when he's going to hit somebody blocking them than he is running a route. So that to me is, we've got a teaching tape on some of Sean's blocks, the way he goes after. But he's a good route runner. He's got great ball skills, and he understands, some of the spacing and where to be on the routes. And and I know our quarterbacks look for him because they know he's going to be in the right spot. So that's been fun and to do that. But it's all a lot of the catches he's gotten, the big ones, have been set up off of the run game, off of play action stuff, and so it's tied in together. But we'll get him the ball best we can, and he's been good when we got to him.
Fred Perry's a guy we've asked about a couple times this
Yeah.
year. He's been, I think, one of your most consistent tacklers the last 4 or 5 games. How has he improved?
Yeah, you get a lot. Sometimes the guys gets a lot of attention when they get a lot of tackles, and deservedly so. And sometimes they got a lot of tackles because the rest of the defense was doing their job, and he's supposed to just make the tackle. So we don't base on just how many tackles. That guy made a great game because he had 12 tackles. Well, but Fred's had a lot of tackles. He's very active. He's physical, and he's still a freshman. I think sometimes he screws up on purpose just to get yelled at and get some attention. I've accused him of that. But Fred's got a good future, because he's still learning. I mean, he's still making freshman mistakes and all that. But he's, you don't have to tell Fred, hey, let's crank it up, let's go hit somebody, let's go let's go play some physical football. He'll do that. Now we got to, obviously constrain, get him disciplined on some of the stuff that he's doing. But he's for a true freshman to come in there and perform like he has is he is what we thought he was when we recruited him.
Coach, can you talk about Ewell and the career he's had?
Yeah, Ewell's been, he's been one of our senior leaders all year. Very consistent, competitive guy, loves to play football. It's a great teammate. I mean, everybody in our program would tell you how much respect they have for him as a player, but also for who Ewell is as a person. I mean, he's been a really good guy to coach, and one of those. I mean, all 11 seniors have been great, but Ewell's been a guy. He's been a multiple captain for a reason. It's because he's got a lot of respect on our team, and he's deserved that throughout his whole career, and especially this year.
I think Ewell started 10, 15 more games in his career than anybody else on this team. Is that something that you noticed right away was his experience?
Yeah, he's got some experience, but he's been here 8 years. I mean, hell, he should. Ewell's probably got the record for number of snaps at Jack State. He's to say he's got experience, he's got a whole lot of experience, and he's been around a little bit. Which to me, I have a certain level of respect for guys, for all of our seniors, but the ones that have been through it 5 years and went through that COVID year here and a coach's transition, and I don't know how many position coaches he's gone throughout his career, more than 1 or 2. So that, to me, that doesn't happen a lot of times nowadays. You get guys that bail out or guys that decide to go somewhere else for whatever reason, and Ewell stuck it out, and he's already made his mark here, and his legacy is a Jack State football player. So he should be proud. We're proud of it.
Like Coach said, I mean, there's a lot at stake here. The ASUN might not recognize us as the champions if we do win, but, in everybody's books here, we're going to be champions either way, I mean, whether we win. I think we've kind of set the tone this season for what we can really be, and I think this next game is really going to prove a lot to a lot of people.
How much of a motivation has that been for you guys this season, to be able to call yourself conference champions?
I mean, it's whether they recognize us or not, we knew coming into this season with the talent that we had and the schemes that we have that, we really had a chance. And Coach Rod's been saying it all year, whether they think it or not. I mean, if we win out, we're going to be conference champions. And that really I think that really does give us extra motivation, because in the past years before, when I was here, I don't think we had that kind of motivation, but with the talent that we do have and the belief that these coaches have in us, I think it really brought us up to the top.
Before the season started, was it weird to think about playing in a year when the playoffs aren't on the table for y'all? I'm sure that in a high school that was probably something your coaches and team set as a team goal. So was that weird knowing that wasn't on the table for y'all this year?
Yeah, it kind of was, and something that he said the other day about it, Coach D'Angelo said, a lot of people, when they're having a successful season like this, they're looking forward to the playoffs, but we know that this is our last game, and we know that we're playing for a conference championship. So I think it really means that much more to us, because we know this is going to be our last game of the year.
how do you feel about, I think he was kind of joking about, the question about you being explosive. Do you feel like that's an asset of your game, your speed, both as a blocker and as a receiver?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I take a lot of pride in blocking, and I know one thing he said the other day, they kind of counts me as an honorary lineman, and I'm just about as big as all of them too. But, I feel, and I know Zion feels confident in me that I'm going to catch the ball whenever he throws it to me. And I think that's something that we've kind of progressed throughout this season, is getting a little more familiar with each other, because I had never played with him before and he'd never played with me. But I know that we both trust each other a lot.
Has blocking always been a thing for you, or is that something you had to learn?
I think it really has. Back in high school, I didn't catch the ball very much. I played more defense than anything. I think I caught 7 or 8 passes throughout all of high school and really blocked more than anything.
How, especially for a guy that maybe didn't do a lot of catching in high school, how tough has that been to maybe get on the same page with Zion this season?
I don't really think that it's been that tough, because last year I think I had 12 or 13 catches or something like that. And, whenever these new coaches got here in the off season, we worked almost every day, sometimes 5 days a week, even without the coaches, just going out there and throwing all the tight ends, receivers, and running backs. And I think that really helped with our chemistry going into the spring and fall camp. And, it's shown on the field that we all trust each other a lot.
Going back to when you got here, a lot of guys maybe come from situations where they're big receivers in high school, and they have to maybe learn some of the fundamentals from blocking. So it sounds like maybe you were the other way, like maybe receiving skills were the things you had to learn the most when you got here?
Yeah, and that's something that I had to work on a lot this offseason with Coach DeAndre, or actually it was Coach McGee at the time. I know he took a lot of extra time out of his day just to watch film over some NFL guys and work with me on the field, and I appreciate every minute of it, because I think it really has helped me.
Any particular NFL guys that stood out that you watched that you learned from the most?
I know it's probably pretty generic, but probably Travis Kelce more than anybody.
He mentioned that teaching tape. What are some of the techniques that you show on that tape?
Probably the best way I can explain it is I get a full head of steam going and run through somebody. And it comes a lot with some of the, the footwork and hand placement that I've learned throughout my last couple of years, and developing my blocking more and more every game too. There's certain techniques that you have to learn with different guys that you have to block, whether that be defensive linemen or defensive backs. It's different with everybody.
It's been a long time coming, but we played great this season. I had fun with all my brothers. Every game, I feel like we went out and gave it our all. We've been relentless on defense, on offense. Offense receivers, they have got so much better this year on blocking. Like even at practice, they'll come at you. Even when the ball not coming to their side, they come at you, knock you out. You be like, whoa. So you got to get into it. Cornerbacks, great technique. Everybody all around the ball. Just all around good year.
With this being your last game, what's that going to be like?
It really hasn't hit me yet. I'm just ready to go out and play for a conference championship. If we win, this will be my 4th conference championship one, 4th ring.
Of all the motivations, how much has the chance to call yourself a conference champion this year motivated this team, you think?
At the beginning of the season, we all was really just thinking like, dang, we really can't go to the playoffs. But now, Coach Rod put it like, you're supposed to play every game like it's your last. So basically, we just playing for fun.
I'm pretty sure, and Josh can double check me on this, I'm pretty sure you're like 15, you have 15 more starts in your career than anybody on this team. Does it feel that way? Like, do you look around and I mean, do you feel like, man, like, some of these guys have been here with me, but like I'm the only one that's kind of been in this lineup for this long?
Not really, because the guys that we have now, like, they play like they've been here as long as I have, so it's really no difference. Everybody step up to the plate, play ball.
Is it Does it feel special to know though that you've started that many games?
I kind of had it in the back of my mind because when I was playing back in 2017, I don't even think nobody was traveling with me. Like last time we went to the fort, to the Army base for our last home game, I was just sitting there thinking like, dog, in 2017, I don't even think nobody on this team traveled with me. So I was like the only one there.
43 starts, Magic has 40. Nobody else is close.
Magic came in with me in 2017. That was one of my first roommates. It was me, him, and Zion, and another dude named Tyree Slocum.
Magic a good roommate?
Oh yeah, great roommate, clean guy.
That interception that y'all that the defense got Saturday, kind of a weird one. How it just kind of landed on top. Did y'all talk about that one when y'all were watching the film back?
Oh yeah, coach just was like great play. Me and Fred Perry, like I think the receiver had like a go ball, so we was kind of far away from the play, and then we seen it, and then we was like, dang, he really caught that. It was a surprise.
Was it tough for you? You said that y'all kind of had a moment before the year where you're like, dang, we can't go to the playoffs this year. Is it tough at first to kind of maybe find motivation doing something different when normally that would be a big team goal for y'all?
It was at first because we always looking towards going towards the national championship instead of just the conference championship. But now, I mean, we have it all in our head that we're going to win the conference championship, and if we do win it, we're going on a senior trip. So all the seniors, we on them hard about not messing up our trip. So,
Have y'all picked a place yet?
not yet.
Okay. Where do you want to go?
I mean, Coach Rod not gonna take us to Jamaica, but that's where I want to go.
Do you remember what it was like the first time you met him? Your new coach, Rodriguez?
I really don't remember. I knew he was a great guy. I heard great things about him from other coaches. Some of the coaches that I had in the past at Jacksonville State, like Coach Kilgore, he was telling me that he was a great guy. Coming in, everything will be okay. Just trust in him.
Were you nervous at first when you find out I'm going to go into my last year and I'm going to have to start over with a new coach?
I was, and then they hired Coach Eddie Hicks. He recruited me out of high school. He was at Austin Peay then. So all the nervousness really left my body because it was between Jacksonville State, Austin Peay, and actually Central Arkansas where I was going to end up going. So when I found out that Coach Hicks was getting the job, I was like, dang, that's crazy because I had played all my years with Jacksonville State. Now he coming to coach me my last year.